Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So with only about a week or two before NCT Dream's comeback, we finally got the album details for Beat It Up, so we can finally do our setup video. This one is going to be rather quick because there are only 3 versions of this album, and since I only collect one member, there isn't really all that much setting up we have to do, so I figured that we could also look through the album details together, and I'll make my fillers on camera so we can do a little bit more of the process together. Also, I will be including a little section at the end of this video where we talk about something that I have decided. I've thought about something for a very long time. It's not really the happiest decision I've ever had to make, but yeah, rather than starting my video talking about it, I figured I would just leave all of my thoughts about it at the very end so that you guys can either fast forward to it or wait until I was done with all the cozy binder setup stuff. But yeah, let's just get straight into the album details. Okay, so I zoomed you in just slightly. So as I said, there are 3 versions of this album. So we have another keychain version here. This one is called the Sheriff version. It comes with like this Sheriff badge keychain. That's what the packaging looks like. And then one photo card, as always. That's pretty common with NCT Dream albums. Then this is the digipack version. So as usual, we have the 7 member versions. There is the 1 photo card. Looks like we get some stickers, lyric poster, a folded poster, which is fun. But yeah, that's this one. Also, I'm really glad that the concept that they chose for the front of this album was this one. I don't know what I was expecting in terms of concept for this album, but cowboy, western, and monster trucks was not it. But we got another comeback with Jisung in his perm, so that's gonna be exciting. And then finally, we have the like monster truck version. That's not the actual version name. Beat It Up version. Pretty straightforward. Again, 1 photo card, some stickers, and then there's this driver's license inclusion. I will be making a filler for this. I do like ID photo cards, so that will be an exciting addition into my binder. So yeah, now with all this amazing knowledge that we have, it's time to make the fillers. I believe I'm only going to need 4. I keep my fillers in this spare box here. So I'm only gonna need 4. So that's literally just a single page of photo cards for this album. Now, I'm gonna say this again, which I feel like I'm just mimicking myself at this point. Like, I'm pretty sure I said this same exact thing in my last NCT Dream comeback setup video, because the situations are pretty identical. It's crazy going into this comeback setup video directly after my Stray Kids comeback setup video, because we're going from like 6 versions down to 3 and 10 photo cards a member down to 4. 2 groups can be having a comeback at the same exact time, except one group has like triple the amount of photo cards for that album versus another. Like, insanity. Alright, so we're gonna start with the Beat It Up version. So I'm just gonna write BIT up here, and then there is the Beat It Up version. And then there is the driver's license. And then the digipack, so BIT, Digi. And then finally, the sheriff version, so okay, so we have our 4 fillers here. We can put this away now and get out the binder. I'm also realizing I haven't grabbed my binder pages yet. Be right back. Of course, using the trusty soft glow pages that I always use. So I have already pre-ordered all of the versions of the album. I did pre-order it alongside all of my Stray Kids albums. So both sets of those albums will come into me at the same exact time. And I did ask in my community post whether or not you guys wanted to see a single video with both groups included, or if you would rather have the 2 groups have their own separate videos. And it seems like the common consensus is 2 separate videos. There is a world that I won't upload the NCT Dream one, and I will talk about that at the end of the video. The reason as to why I'm kind of feeling apprehensive about doing an unboxing for NCT Dream right now. But yeah. So let's just throw these fillers in here. Doesn't really matter the order too much. I'll care more about the order once I know what the concepts look like and what the photo cards like actually look like. Is anyone else really particular about their binder page layouts? Or do you just kind of throw cards in whatever order? Alright, and those are the 4 photo cards for this album. There's actually only 3, but I'm counting the driver's license as one. So yeah, really excited for another NCT Dream album. Based off of what the descriptions of the songs are like, sounds like it's going to be a really good one. I did see that there is also 2 unit songs, so there's the vocal line and the rap line who are doing songs together. I'm actually really excited for another vocal line song. I listened to Be There For Me, which is the vocal line song, I believe, from Hot Sauce. I listened to that song like on repeat, like genuinely one of my favorite songs from NCT Dream. So I'm so excited to have another one. I don't know if this is like common consensus amongst citizens or not, but I really feel like NCT Dream's strength comes from their vocalists and not necessarily their rappers. Like if you were to ask me about Stray Kids, I would say that they're more of a rap heavy group, and they use their vocal abilities as kind of like highlights in their song. But with NCT Dream, I feel like it's kind of the opposite. I feel like their vocalists really carry the songs, and then the rap is what is like the highlight to kind of add that little extra flavor into the music. I really love their more vocal heavy songs. I'm also not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping before it was even announced that there was gonna be unit songs, I was hoping that we were gonna get one and that Jisung was gonna be included with the vocal unit. Jisung has been working so hard on his vocal ability, and he's been doing such an amazing job. I said this from the very beginning of my journey of biasing Jisung. His voice has always been my favorite in NCT Dream, like above everybody else. Both his singing and his rapping has been my favorite. And my love for his voice has just grown over these past few months, the more and more that he's been exploring with his vocal range. So I hope that sometime in the future we get a Jisung plus vocal line song. I feel like all 4 of their voices would just blend together so nicely, and that will genuinely be like peak NCT for me, I think. Like literally once that happens, I don't think it could get any better than that. But yeah, so that was everything for Beat It Up. I do have a ton of cards on the way to me, like a lot. I have a lot on the way to me from Pokemarket. I'm also waiting on a group order. I asked my gum if she could send out the cards that she has on hand to me. We are waiting on 1 or 2 other cards. They arrived to her damaged, so their proxy is sending her new ones to replace them. So I'm still waiting on those, but hopefully I can get the other ones to me as soon as possible. So that new photo card storing video should be up within the next week and a half, I hope. I hope that Pokemarket order gets to me soon. I shipped it out to me last Monday, so it should take a little bit for it to get to me, but hopefully not too long of a wait. Alright, so that was everything I had for you guys today. If you have any questions for me, of course, leave them in the comments down below and I'll be happy to answer them. And as always, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed. Ani out. Okay, so we have reached that point in the video where I have a not so great announcement that I have to make. I didn't necessarily have to make this announcement. I could have made this decision very quietly and privately on my own and not tell anyone about it, but I felt like it's important to bring awareness to stuff like this and to speak up about it because it seems like nobody else is willing to do so, so I will be the one to do it, I guess. Starting from now until I see fit to turn things back around, I will no longer be interacting with any Mark content. This, while it really wasn't a hard decision to make, it's one that I've held off on for a while because I was waiting to see if he was going to do anything to separate himself from all of the accusations that has been thrown at him, rightfully so. But he has only chosen to triple down at this point. And I will walk through all of those reasons why I think that he's just hurting himself more than he is helping himself. But just to start this whole section off, that is the premise of this. I am no longer going to be supporting any Mark content. I will not be streaming any of his solos. Obviously, he's a part of NCT. He's an NCT Dream. At this point in time, I am not separating myself from NCT Dream because this is a solely Mark issue. In this moment, it doesn't involve all of the boys. But I will say that if this somehow extends into the other members, then unfortunately, they will have to receive the same treatment. Now, again, this isn't something new that I've had to do. In the past, I chose to boycott Stray Kids, and I separated myself from both Stray Kids and from Stayville for a pretty long time. It was pretty damaging to my status, I guess we can say, as a stay. It took me a very long time to kind of catch my footing back in the fandom and back in the group. But it took them erasing the single that they did with Charlie Puth from their activities for me to finally say, okay, I'm comfortable coming back into being a fan of this group. While they never outwardly came out and separated themselves from Charlie Puth, we did see the effort in them to halt any promotions that they were doing with him. They removed the song off of one of their albums. I believe it was off of 8. Now, there's no guarantee that it was meant to be on 8, but if you take a look at the concept photos in that album was from the Lose My Breath music video, which only leads me to assume that the company just hit delete on that song on the track list. It's easier for them to hit a key on a keyboard to remove a song than it is for them to reshoot an entire concept for an album. So I am assuming that that song was originally meant to be on the album, but seeing the backlash and seeing how upset that the fans were, they eventually went ahead and removed it. So that is why I was comfortable enough to come back to being a stay and come back to standing Stray Kids. But bringing this back to Mark, at this moment in time, Mark has not done anything to remedy the situation at all. And again, like I said, if anything, he's only tripled down on himself, which makes him look 10 times worse, in my opinion. So, for one, let's talk about the McDonald's collab. The McDonald's collab was strike one. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, which honestly was probably wrong to do because he is a grown ass man. He is on the internet as everybody else is. He knows what's happening. He should have known better before signing that contract, but he did anyways. I'm assuming because of money greed, because I'm sure that contract was going to write him a big check. But he signed that contract regardless if he knew what was happening or not. As a result of him signing that contract, fans were very upset with him, and many people have gone to social media to express their concern. And it definitely has reached them because it got to the point where they did not feel comfortable enough to talk about it in a live stream. It's very obvious that they were directed that, and I'm saying they, I mean Mark and NCT Dream. It's very obvious that they were directed to not speak about the collab. So obviously, SM and Mark knows about the backlash surrounding this and the reason why everyone is upset. So honestly, that was kind of strike two, in my opinion, and that is the thing that is what made me speak up about it in the first place. I spoke up about it a couple videos back in a binder maintenance video. So if you want to go see that rant, feel free. So now we know Mark knows about this. We know that he knows about the boycott because there's no way that he's gone all this time without knowing about the boycott. And I'm not talking about the boycott on him, I'm talking about the boycott on McDonald's, and I'm talking about the genocide in Palestine right now. Then, I believe, just so that I am telling you accurate information, I made sure to look it up earlier. I believe it was October 4th. SM released a behind video of Mark's collab with McDonald's. Now, I would kindly like to remind all of you seasony here who are here and watching this, when does SM ever post behinds of any sort of content shoot? Like, genuinely, I have never seen a behind video like this done for anybody else. I don't even think that there were any behinds done of his solo album. We didn't see any behind the scenes of anything, but this is what SM decides to post. Now, you can argue and say that this is like down to contract, like they had to post it. But at this point, I genuinely don't care. Like, I just don't. There is so much more happening in the world that they should have worked a little harder to not get this content posted, especially if they knew how much backlash it was gonna cause. But that's not even the part that made me the most angry. The part that made me the most angry was that literally an hour later, he posted on, I think, both Twitter and on Instagram. I have the Instagram post here that I can pop up on the screen so you can see it. That he was collaborating with Ralph Lauren to raise awareness for cancer prevention, and then proceeds to say that we need to work together to make a difference in the world. You have to be joking. Like, genuinely, that was the biggest spit in our faces that he could have done. Like, I would have rather he just stayed silent. Like, literally, this felt like such a slap in the face to see literally hours after he posted a video of this collab that is quite literally unaliving children. As I speak here, sitting in my chair, people are being unalived. As he is actively supporting a company who is supporting that, he then goes ahead and posts about having to make a difference in the world. I am so sorry, but you're such a freaking hypocrite. Like, I'm so upset about this. Like, I can't even express in words how much rage I feel about this. I saw some Mark fans on Twitter defend him and say, I thought you guys wanted him to be for charity. Like, this is a good thing. You know, children with cancer are affected every day. Like, of course, we should bring awareness to kids with cancer and cancer prevention. Like, yeah, I'm gonna agree. Of course, I'll agree. But did you guys also know that last week, after the miraculous peace treaty was signed, that there was an airstrike that unalived over 100 people, and of those 100 people, 46 were children. What about those kids? Those kids matter too. And the fact that there are not more people enraged about this makes me feel awful, genuinely awful. Now to continue, that was what strike are we on? 3. To continue, just recently he invited 2 people who are known to be very anti-Palestine to do a dance challenge. Those 2 people being Eric Nam and Erica, I don't remember her last name. She's a TikTok influencer. I guess she was caught deleting comments being in support of Palestine. So now, not only is he outwardly supporting a company that is funding the unaliving of thousands and thousands of people, but he's also now aligning himself with more creators and more influencers who also believe that genocide is a good thing. That's what it is. They think that this amount of people dying is deserved. And I hate that I have to be the one to come out on social media and say things in such a frank way to make it obvious enough. But if you're not upset about this, you're the problem. Genuinely, you are the problem. We are living in a time where we are seeing humanitarian crises left, right, and center. And if this doesn't make you care, you are the issue. This is so much bigger than an Instagram post. And the fact that like Mark can do all this and then immediately after post a selfie with Hitchen and pretend like none of this happened, and all of a sudden the entire feed is everyone freaking out over Mark Yuck. Like, are you freaking serious? You're going to prioritize a ship over literal mass unalivings. Genuinely, I don't have words for the type of people who do this. If you didn't care before, I am urgently urging you to start caring, especially if you are from the United States. We are living in a time where choosing to remain ignorant is going to affect lives. Like, genuinely, it's going to affect lives. We are seeing healthcare get ripped away from people. We are seeing food stamps get ripped away from people. And it's all because people choose to turn their nose in the opposite direction because it might not affect you. And that is an awful way to think. You should care. And I'm telling you that you should care. With all that said, if Mark somehow comes out and says anything that condemns his own actions, but also condemns what is happening in Palestine right now, then he will have my full support again. Like I said, literally actions are important too. He doesn't outwardly have to come out and with like a video of him saying this. Stray Kid, like I said, when it came to Stray Kids, it took them actively making the steps to separate themselves from Charlie Puth. They never outwardly came out and said that we do not stand with Charlie Puth, but their actions showed that they did. So I was comfortable coming back into Stayville. But I'm going to need some type of similar action from Mark before I do the same. Now, this is also why I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, I am unsure as to whether or not I want to do the unboxing of the NCT Dream albums on my channel, because I cannot lie to you guys, if I open those albums and I pull a Mark photo card, I don't think I'll be able to filter my reaction. And I feel so ridiculous saying that because a photo card seems like such a trivial matter in all of this, but it's just the truth. I really am just not in support of him right now, and I just don't want to see a photo card coming out of the albums that I just spent my own money on. So I might film it, and then if I unfortunately end up pulling his photo card during it, I might just not post it, because like I said, I just don't think I will be able to keep a positive reaction going. And I want to keep my videos positive, but like I said, since nobody else is willing to talk about these things, I will be the one to do so. So, like I said, depending on what my reaction is like when I film, will depend on whether or not I will actually post that video or not. So I guess if you know, a couple months goes by and you don't see an NCT Dream unboxing video, then you know what happened. So yeah, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. I'm not gonna invite anybody to follow alongside with me. This was my own personal decision. It took some deliberation with myself to reach this decision. I do encourage you guys to do the same. You don't have to go as far as I did, or you can even go farther and completely step away from NCT, as I'm seeing a lot of other people do. I haven't reached there yet because, like I said, as of right now, this is just a Mark centered issue. If this bleeds out into the other Dreamies or into NCT 127, the rest of NCT everywhere, then I will have to make that decision when the time comes. But again, at the moment, it is just Mark, so I will not be interacting with his content. I won't be streaming his solo album. You definitely won't see me liking, commenting, or sharing any Mark posts or giggling over something that he does, because no amount of deflecting will change my mind or distract me from what is happening in the real world. Um, but yeah, so that was the end of this rant. Thank you if you listened through all of it, and thank you for hearing me out, even if you don't agree with me. I would kindly like to remind you that if you want to comment to keep things respectful, I already had to mute somebody because they came into my comments saying that the Palestinians deserve it. I genuinely cannot stand how evil people are in this world. Um, so if you come into my comments and you're disrespectful in any way, your comment is guaranteed to be just deleted. I don't have space for you here. You're not welcome here. So yeah, there's that. That is the end of this rant. I'm going to close out this video with an outro, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for listening to me. Bye.